Hello, welcome to my channel. Today I thought I'd show you how to find inspiration. And one of my favorite places is to look at the paintings of the old masters on Google Images. Here's an old master, Monet, and don't laugh, I attempted to do this painting my own style, and I thought I could improve on it and add a lighthouse. I looked at the painting and discovered that the sky took up about 1/3. There was a little bit that I call a third in the middle of the ocean, and the bottom third was the foreground. And there's a tiny tree pointing up, slap bang in the middle of the painting. So I did a sketch very much the same, except I thought the whole thing could be improved with a lighthouse. So I put that in and then transferred the sketch to a 9x12 canvas panel and started painting. And the blue I mixed for the sky was completely wrong. I added a little raw sienna to it, which toned it down a lot more than it should have been. And I think that Monet used a color similar to cobalt. And I had French ultramarine blue, and I thought raw sienna might make it more cobaltish, but it didn't. And so my sky is too stormy and grey. And he also had a lot of white down near the horizon line, so I added some of that. But I'm going to pick this up later with a brighter blue, so I'm not too worried at this stage. First of all, I want to get the painting done, and then I'm going to compare it to Monet's painting and see where I need to make my alterations. I think that's a good way to go. I used French ultramarine blue on my ocean, and it is the Mediterranean, but I don't think it's that blue in reality. And so that will alter a little bit later on. I've got another brighter blue. I don't have any cobalt, but I do have another brighter blue which could help, I hope. I have to get into my paint storage and sort that one out before I go any further. And the other thing I want to say is you must get that horizon line straight. You can't have any hills in your horizon line. I did just use my brush. I didn't tape it. I quite often tape my horizon line when I'm painting oceans, but today I didn't. I just eyeballed it. So this is a very quick sketch, I've got to say. I think the whole thing took me only half an hour to do. For this strip of sand, I'm using primary yellow titanium white with a hint of raw sienna. I usually use Naples yellow, which is really good for sand, but I couldn't find that this morning, so that's what I'm using. And I've still got blue in my brush, so it came out kind of green. But this is the first layer. I'm not too worried what I get down on the first layer because it will all change later on. Now, I'm aware that this hillside is not green. I don't know why I'm using green here. It's just a habit, I think. Or maybe I want something as an undertone. I'm not sure. Let's call it an undertone. It sounds more sophisticated. But I know that it's supposed to be wheat, which is a brownish color. And I've put green on there. So let's just ignore that for now. I know that in London, at least, they send the art students to the museums to copy paintings by great masters. And I feel Monet is a great master. I love his work. And I'm happy to copy that to get inspiration. And I don't feel I was wrong to put in a lighthouse. I think you can make little changes. And I think a lighthouse looks very nice there. So I'm not going to apologize for it or apologize for changing Monet's idea because I don't think that my painting will be anywhere close to Monet's masterpiece. But it's an inspiration piece. It gave me an idea what to paint today when I was lacking in ideas of my own. What I'm putting down is the undercoat, the very first layer of paint. It doesn't really matter. I could paint the whole thing in red. It really wouldn't matter that much. I will be looking more carefully at Monet's painting and adjusting my colours accordingly. And so I'm just getting paint down at this point. I'm working on little scrubby bits of ground and the trees and shrubs on the left-hand side. And in a moment, I'll tackle the cliffs. I think the light is coming from the left toward the right side of the painting. That's how I interpret it. And I didn't put any shadow on my lighthouse. The lighthouse is just a daub of paint on the horizon line and not to be taken too seriously, I feel. I didn't put any detail into it. The cliffs in Monet's painting are very interesting. They're sort of shadowy and rugged and rocky, and I wasn't quite sure how to achieve the same effect, but I did my best. I put raw sienna on here with a flat brush, and I did better later on when I used a fan brush and got a streakiness to it. I think it looked better once I got my fan brush going. But it's meant to represent wheat, I think. Although I honestly don't know why wheat would be growing so close to the ocean, but I don't know anything about it, to be honest. I love a fan brush for things that have tall stems, and I turn it on its side to do taller, shrubby type things. And I use it on the flat to do grasses, and wheat is a kind of grass, isn't it? And I think it looks much better now. One thing I like about this composition is that it has depth. I love a painting where you feel you could climb into it and explore it, walk around and go some distance and come back again and really explore the area. And that's what this painting has. It has depth. I like doing this. I'm going to do it again. Maybe once a week I'll explore Google Images and find a painting by an old master and try to replicate it. I think that would be a great exercise and something different for me to do. And you might enjoy it too. I hope you do. And don't forget to subscribe and like, because that helps the algorithm find my channel and promotes my channel. And it's free to you. It doesn't cost anybody anything, and you're not committed to anything. And it's very helpful to me. So I'd appreciate it when people do that. And thank you to everyone who's already done that. I very much appreciate your doing that for me. And anyway, let's get on with it. The cliffs in Monet's painting were very rugged, so I'm dabbing the fan brush around, using it on the flat and on the edge to try and get some of that ruggedness into my cliffs. I don't even pretend to be as good as Monet. I wish I were. Wouldn't that be wonderful? I was looking at his prints. They sell for quite a lot of money. That would be wonderful too, but I'd have no expectations along those lines. And yeah, I'm really enjoying doing this. I've got to say, I'm going to do it again every week, I'm sure. It's somewhere around here that I decide I have to look for another blue because this is not working. The Mediterranean is so beautiful, and this looks too pasty and white. I've got to get a better blue in here. Actually, putting this white in the sky shows up the ocean color a little bit better, so maybe that will fix the problem. We'll see. I didn't think the clouds were too bad, but evidently I wasn't happy with them, and I appear to be doing them over. It's something that you have to be wary of, overworking a painting. You sometimes have to let things go and say, okay, well, I might do better next time, but this is it for now. I'm leaving that lighthouse fairly indistinct. I don't want to put too much detail in it. It will pull it forward if I do that. And I want it there in the background. Monet didn't have it. I do. It's what distinguishes my painting from Monet's, apart from a million other things. I don't even pretend to paint as well as he did, but I do like this idea of using the masters for inspiration. If they got the composition right and you copy that composition, then you've got one thing right, at least in your painting. You can mess it up as you go along, but at least you know you've got the composition right if you can copy that. And that's something, isn't it? Well, I was unable to leave the clouds alone. I don't know why. I've passed the point where I can achieve what Monet did. He had delightful little puffs of cloud, and I've got a mess of cloud, and I don't think there's much I can do about that at this point. I like to use a fan brush for all the scrubby bits on the edge of the road, the weedy things that you don't want to do individually. I found a brighter blue and decided to add that to both the sky and the ocean because the blue of the ocean is really a reflection of the sky at any rate. So they would be similar in colour. And I think that has helped a lot. With my style of painting, you shouldn't be afraid of getting mucky. I use my fingers in my painting. I find that I have quite large soft pads on my fingers, and it's great for blending patches of paint out without leaving too much of a mark. I can do that. Some people with smaller fingers maybe can't, but if you're like me and you've got large hands, you should find your fingers a useful tool. I feel quite happy with that sky. I hope I don't change it. I need to lighten the beach in contrast with the cliffs. If I had my Naples yellow, I think that would be the perfect colour, but I can't find it at the moment. But it's a great colour for sandy beaches, for highlights on trees, dappled shade, or dappled sunlight rather. But if you haven't got it, then primary yellow, raw sienna, and titanium white can give you a colour that's very close to Naples yellow. Monet had some shades of red. I don't know what they were meant to be. You sometimes see red poppies in wheat fields, and it could be that is what it is. I tried to get the right shade in and dabbled it around, and I think I got it right. I'm not totally sure. Well, that's it. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did. I very much enjoyed the exercise of copying someone else's composition, and I know I didn't do it as well as Monet, but I'm pleased with the result, and I hope you like it too. And if you do, please give me a thumbs up, and if you haven't already, please subscribe. Thank you to everyone who already has. That is very helpful to me. And I'll see you next time. And I think I might do this at least once a week, just as a way of getting inspiration. Bye for now.